We reviewed some rock lords a while back, and I liked them, despite the fact that they just turned into rocks. Rocks are cool, but can they do more? And that question has been answered with these two first releases in the Legacy United line that come from the Infernac universe. Now what is that, you might ask? Well, for the first time ever, your guess is as good as mine. You have to hand it to Hasbro in a way. Just slap any old horseshit down in front of the character name and say that it's letting the customer make up their own lore. Well, no, okay? Look, no, that's not how Transformers works. I want a breakdown of whatever the Infernac universe is. I want biographies of these two lads. I want to know if Magneous is hard-headed but loyal, or if Bouldercrash is fast but has a phobia of fucking mashed potatoes. It's little things like that that really sell me on a new character. The toys themselves might be decent, but knowing a bit about their characters adds on an extra spice that, when missing, feels a little bit incongruous with what makes Transformers feel really special. But it's a toy review channel after all, not a character review channel, unless you count me looking down my nose at each and every one of you. So let's get to it. Magneous is an obsidian armorizer with some strange proportions. We have a very pleasing texture too. That makes up for the mostly grey paint job. Even then, the paint application is quite nice and there's some decent variation in there. It's visually interesting. There's a bit of movie Ironhide around them, isn't there? Yeah, I think about of all the toys that can separate into armour for other toys that we've seen over the years, Magneous feels the most solid. In fact, I kind of forgot that was even an option until I read the instructions. We get this pretty stubby pickaxe, or you can turn it around a little bit and you've got a crossbow mode that, okay, sure. You can take off their backpack here and use it as a shield, but I won't be doing that because it looks awful. But overall, they've got a decent range of motion, and I like their wheel boobs. Transformation is surprising in just how much I enjoy it. It's rare for these kind of bots. You can transform Magneous without taking off any parts, which is great, and there really isn't that much to it. But it does feel good to do. I like this whole upper torso lifting up on a hinge, and the way that the feet and the legs fold, everything fits snugly together. Now, of course, it's going to be your call whether this rock-based SUV does anything for you. I very much enjoy how different it is to anything we've seen before. Things like this jump out to me more than updates to older characters like Thundertron or Tigerhawk, and those are cool, but I'm not excited to own them. Magneous here isn't setting my world on fire, but it's also something different, even if I could have used a bit more world building on Hasbro's part. This mode is where the rock texture and the paint really shines too. I'm very much into it. Again, the promo shots really didn't do it justice. It's weird and it's daft, and I like it, folks. You can plonk an axe on top, which is great, but you can also plop it on the front bumper as a battering ram. Small play features like that are appreciated. Transform your day into an adventure by removing the back end of the SUV and connecting it to the hammer, making the battering ram even battering rammier. Last part of the Magneous marathon is the Armorizer with a Z gimmick. Even when you take them apart, there's still a ton of Magneous left over. I feel kind of sorry for him there. It's like that bit in Robocop 2, you know? You know that way? Still, all these parts, there's only one thing for it. We need to connect them to... Oh, right, okay. Fine, you know what, fine. Bumblebee was good, let's do it. Now, whatever I think about Legacy United animated Optimus Prime, and I will get to it, robots wearing rock armour is a cool concept. It doesn't do a massive amount for Prime here, but their bold colours make those grey washes on Magneous work overtime. It's something I could see happening in the animated universe too. If they ever made a toy based on the Rock Lords in the animated cartoon, I will piss a carton of milk into the River Clyde. As I say, Magneous isn't likely to make my top 5 list this year, but they feel like another step towards taking some creative risks with the franchise, along with the established old guard. Bouldercrash, on the other hand, is absolutely terrible. Only kidding, I really like them. I read that there's a lot of disparate influences in the Infernac universe designs, but Bouldercrash really reminds me of Saberstone from the Rock Lords, one of the ones I had as a kid, so I've got some sentimental attachment to it. I like that dusky paint job and the lava details pushing through the red quartz. They've got quite a good Decepticon goon vibe, if I'm being honest. Of course, we don't know what their deal is at all because there's no biography.
Will you drop it, please?
I'll drop you! Bouldercrash is all ball joints, so they're very poseable. I like them, even if they do have a stick up their back end. And that's not a character insight, by the way. There's literally a huge rod running from the floor to the small of their back. I appreciate the need for it from a transformation perspective, and indeed it does make the process super easy and quite satisfying, but I wish it was collapsible or pushed up further into their guts. We've got a pretty sizable bladed weapon, which is nice enough. It's clearly a concession for the alt mode, but it's cool. Sure. That transformation is good though, folding up their chest plate, bringing the canopy over their head, turning it 180, doing the same with the legs, and the arms and the legs connect to this beam, and it's because of that it holds together beautifully. The alt mode is known as a lava trike, which is very funny to me. I do like it. I like that stability. It feels so solid when it's in this mode. I guess the rod was a good idea, okay? Okay, yeah, but like I'm very pleased with it. You can take the blade and you can fold it forward if you fancy getting 5 points on your license too. The final indignity is keeping that blade flipped up and using Bouldercrash as a sword. I suppose it's very funny to me. You just stand them up in the motorbike and it's meant to be a sword. I don't hate it though. As I say, stone weapons and armor for robots is a fun idea, and this works to an extent. I like these rock lords from the Infernac universe. I feel like I'm destined to be drawn to the weirdos of each wave of releases, and these definitely fit in that category. But you, oh, we're gonna get to you, buddy. Bye.